here in AutoCAD you can see here in ground slab and beam plan. Here you can see these are the TB. TB is nothing but tie beam. It is below less than 1000 mm. So that beam we will call as a tie beam. You can see here, here it is coming TB1. This is one beam. This is one beam. This is one beam. Here you can see there is a TB2. This is one more beam. So here the TB1, TB2, all these value here in table it's given here. You can see concrete beam schedule. So here you can see the TB1 here it's shown some 20 and 70. This is the width and this is the height of the beam. And here this height is going to be considered including floor slab thickness. It will be there here. Okay, so TB1, TB2, again B1, B2, B3 like that. You can see all the sizes has been given here. So you just follow the same sizes and you just make the beam placement in a project. So here this is ground floor. Again if you go here, this is first floor. So first floor also you can see there is a beam. So this all beam you have to create the model as per the given size. If the beam size is repeating the same, you can place it the same, no issue. You have to place all these beams. Again if you go second floor, you can see here also again the beam is there. If you go roof floor, again there is a beam. You can see this all other beam. This is beam B8, this is B4. So you have to place all the beams here. Again if you go top roof, here also there is a beam. So this all layout you have to complete it with the help of the given value in a schedule. Here the schedule is given for the beam. In that schedule you can see all the sizes is there. So based on the size you have to complete it, this beam structure here. Okay, so now I will show you one beam, how to place this beam in a project. So now you can see the screen. Are you able to see my screen? Yes. Okay. So when you are going to place the beams, always you remember, don't go with the footing level, because you have to go FPL level, means your next level. So if you are having the next level in FPL, there is a ground floor, you just click the ground floor. The ground floor is your FPL level if you are thinking in such a way, because as per the design we have to do the same. Now here this is a column, because only the footing level you have to place columns and footing, that's all. But the beam is going to come above the footing level, so that's the reason you have to go the next level. Okay, so next level again in structure only we have to do the placement of the beam. Now you can see here structure, and you will find here there is a structural framing. But here you can see the images, here it is showing some steel structure, I section beam. But right now we are working in the RCC, so you have to place the RCC beam. So just click the beam, you can see here only universal beam family is loaded here, but there is no RCC beam. This is all a steel structure beam. Now you have to go load family and just make it load of all the beams. Just go back, again here back, and you will find here there is a structural framing. You can see here one folder is there, because the column is in column folder, foundation is in foundation folder, and the beam is in a structural framing folder. You will find here structural framing. So just double click on that framing. You will see again in framing also there will be a steel structure beam, steel beam, wooden beam, and concrete beam. But right now we are working on the concrete, so you have to go concrete, and you can see here there is a rectangular beam. This rectangular beam, if you are giving the value both width and height same, then it is going to become a square beam also. So rectangular beam will directly you can take it for the square also. And you can see there is a pan joist with ledges beam. You can see like that it will become. This is the pan joist beam. And here this is the joist beam. It will become some slope. It will become some angle. It will be not in shape. So these are the beam. And gutter beam is for steel structure, I section. It will become. Okay, so right now we have a requirement for the beam in this way, rectangular, because right now we are working with the rectangular, because in AutoCAD also you can see the TB1, TB2, whatever the values has given, it's a two different values, 20 centimeter and 70 centimeter. So length and width is different. So it's a having a rectangular beam. Am I right? So this rectangular beam you have to place. So you just click and make it load. So after loading, now you can see the beam has been come here directly in the properties toolbar. Am I right? So here some of the default size will be come from the Autodesk company has been given here. The 300 by 600. 300 is the width, 600 is the height. Here also one more size has given 400 by 800. But whatever the size is given, you just don't bother all this, because if it is matching your project size, so directly you can take this beam. But if it is not matching, then again you have to go edit type and make it duplicate of this beam. Just go duplicate, and here as per the project, what is the size has given here? TB1 20. 20 is nothing but 200, and again here 70. 70 is nothing but 700. So 200 by 700 is the beam width and height. So you just go 200, this is the size, and here you have to write the, like this is the length, L capital letter, and here this is 700. So you just make 700, and here in that also you have to make it the width capital letter, and after completion of this, then underscore you have to make it the name TB1 capital letter. If it is having TB1, you have to put TB1. If it is having TB2, you have to go with TB2, TB3, like that. All the beams naming should be this way only. Okay, like the columns, how you did it for the footings. Here beam also we have to make it the naming in this way. Just go with okay. Now you can see the name, the new beam has been created here. The same value again you have to give here the same 200, and this one is 700. And here in type mark you have to give the name same TB1, like that you have to give the name for this beam. Just after completion of that name, you just go and click OK. So after completion of the OK, now you have to click the middle of the column. You can see that there is a midpoint. Don't keep some people, they will going to start the beam from here only, edge of the column, but don't go anywhere the edge of the column. You have to go mid of the column, middle point of the column. Again you have to start the beam always from left, because the left is start point and the right point is the end point. Okay, so this is start middle point. Now you can see here there is the intersection and horizontal point. It is not a middle of the column, it is the intersection point of the column. So always you remember, when you are going to place any beam, it should be middle of the column or else intersection point of any of the columns. It should become. And don't go, because here sir this column beam is given mid here, so I can put the beam like that. No, you don't do. You have to put the beam always straight from intersection point to the middle point. If it is coming both side intersection point also we can place. If it is coming both side midpoint, you have to keep, no issue, but it should be placed between the intersection and middle point of the column. Just click it. After clicking, you can see the beam has been placed here. If you are going and placing in a shaded beam, you can see there is a beam. Am I right? And here this point is showing the connectivity. You can see there is a 0 mm. Here also 0 mm, means here exactly this beam has been connected with this column. So if you are going to place the beam in this way, so always your beam connection will be perfect. There is no single 1 mm difference also will be not come. It will become exactly that difference how the beams will be there in a project. Now you can see again TB1, the other beam you can see here also same, there is a TB1. The same size you can take. If it is having different size, again this beam you have to go edit tab and make it duplicate. One more size you have to create, like TB2, TB3, like that. Whatever the sizes they have given based on the schedule, you just create it the same. Okay. Now one more TB1 I want to place here. So again you have to go beam. Here already TB1 we have created the same. Again here intersection point and here intersection point. Middle you have to click. That's all. It will become. Now after placing of the beam, you can see by clicking the beam here in properties toolbar, you will find here start level offset. Start offset means start level means this is the start level, this is the end level. So always you remember this value you have to give FFL thickness. How much the FFL thickness is there? That FFL thickness you have to make it subtract. Okay. If I are giving sir my FFL thickness is some 100 mm. So you have to give 100 mm minus here start and 100 mm minus again end. You have to give the minus value here. Always. All the beams should be subtract from FFL. Always. Remember this one. Always it will be going to be subtract from FFL start and end both. But here there is a cross section angle also there. But don't put any cross section angle, because if you are going to put any cross section angle, so your columns will be visible in angle. Some values it is going to be visible. So don't put. Only you just give the start offset and end offset. Enough. These two things you have to give it here. Start level offset, end level. But don't put 0, 0. If you are going to put 0, 0, what will happen? The beam is going to be enter inside the FFL. It is going to be touch the FFL top. So there will be a clashes between the tiles and beam. It will become. But it should not become like that. So that's the reason we have to make it subtract that FFL value. If it is having the FFL is 75, you have to make it minus 75. If the FFL is having 100, 150, you have to put 150. So how much the value of the finished floor level FFL will be there, the same value you have to make it subtract here exactly. Okay, so all the beams you remember the same. Now you can see in 3D view, if you are going to see this in 3D view, you can find out there is a beam placement has been done. Like that it will become. Because this is your foundation, this is the column, and the beam it is coming in plinth level. So here the beam is going to be placed in this way. You can see this side it is exactly touching the column. There is no 1 mm gap also will be there. You can see if you make it zoom also, you will never find any gap on the between. Okay, so this way you have to work out for the beam also in a project. So all the floors, all the beams you have to place. Ground floor, first floor, second floor, every floor you have to place this beam. Okay, completed? Got it? Yes or no? Yes guys? Okay. So this way you have to work out for the beam. Now I will tell you some of the information about the footings, columns and beams. This information also you have to fill in your project. So what type of information you have to fill? Right now you just click the footing and you have to go edit type. You can see there is some identity data information is there here. Have you seen this one? Because yesterday we have updated only the type mark, but when you are going to work for the LOD 300, that time only this all information you have to update. If you are working with LOD 100 or 200, no need to give this all information. No need to give this all information. Even the project information also you should not give in LOD 100 or 200. This all information when you will give, you are detailing LOD is 300, that time you have to place this all information. So here the first, right now you think that my project is going to be worked out with the LOD 300, 350 also we will develop, again the later we will develop 400 also, because here level wise you are working. Because initially you have placed the model, and that model you have given some documentation dimensions which is coming LOD 200. Now you are giving some information, this comes under LOD 300. And if you are showing some color of that footing with material, it is 400. And if you are giving some scheduling and quantities, then it is 350. Like that it will become. So right now you just think that we are working in a 300 model, so we have to give this all information. So you can see here there is a assembly code. Don't keep this, if you are working in LOD 300, don't keep like that is a blank. This all information should be have to fill it. So here the first is assembly code, means your footing how you have assembled in a project while construction. So you have to give some code for that. If you are giving some code here, automatically you can see there is a assembly description will become automatically here. Okay, so now how to place this code? You just go here, one box you can find here the corner, you just click that box. If you are clicking that box, one more palette is going to become here. And in the palette you can see there is a substructure. And in the substructure you can see there is a A10 foundation. And here basement construction. So right now Footing is nothing but foundation. You just go plus symbol. In that plus symbol, if you find there is a standard foundation, special foundation, slab on grade foundation. There are three types of foundation will be there. If you are going to see here the basement construction, here the basement excavation. Excavation means nothing but digging the land, that we will call as excavation. So here it will be there. If you click again this plus symbol, you can see there is a footing and pile cap footing. If you are working with the pile cap footing, then you have to take this code. If you are working with strip footing, that time you have to take this one, means raft foundation. If you are working with spread footing, you have to take this one. If you are working with pile cap footing, you have to take this one. So spread footing is nothing but isolated footing. Isolated foundation we will call as a spread foundation. So right now we have made this footing as isolated, so you have to take this code. So here A10101020 is the code of the assembly, because this code already from the Autodesk company, they have already designed as per the standard. They have given for the booklet from the civil structure design booklet. So you have to check it here, and the same code you have to go and select it with the help of this OK. Now you can see after clicking OK, automatically this code will become, and here the description also will become. This is information, because this column has been assembled with this code, and here this is the description. So you have to fill it this way. Okay, after completion of the assembly code, then you have to go with the keynote. You have to put some keynote of your column, because these all are information. So you have to go this box again, and you can see there is a palette, there is a number of keynote is there. So here in this keynote, wall MEP services, architecture, everything will be covered. But right now we are working for the footing, and footing is comes for the structure. So you have to select the structure. So here you can see general requirement, site work, concrete, machinery, like that. All information has given. But when you are working with the RCC, you have to go concrete. Select the concrete. In the concrete, you can see again concrete forms some accessories, concrete reinforcement, cast in place concrete, recast concrete, like that it will be there. Okay, so now you just go and check each and every concrete in this way. Okay, there will be a number of information will be. You just check it, which information is matching your component. That information you have to take it. Okay, again here you just go and check it. Again here you have to go and check it. So this way you have to go and check each and every concrete information, and then you have to give the value for that keynote. Like that you have to go and check it. You can see there is a number of information will be there here. You can go and check it, each and every information with the help of this concrete. Okay, only the concrete you have to take. Other, if you go, it will be concerned some architecture, it will concern mechanical, electrical, like that. Okay, so which one you have to take here? Right now we are working with structural, and that structure is consist with concrete. And here the material which we have taken, that material information also you have to give with the help of this keynote, with the help of this keynote. So now you can see here cast in place concrete. This is the material information as a keynote. Okay, you just select this one for the footing, as well as for the column also you have to take, because these are the cast in place concrete we are working as a material. Or else you can take structural concrete. Structural concrete is nothing but it's a simple. You can see here there is a number of structural concrete. So here there is a rectangular column is coming, beam is coming, circular column is coming, one way joist beam is coming, one way another joist beam is coming, floor is also coming, two way, three way, like that. There is a multiple option is there here in concrete. So which is matching your component, you just go and check it and place it, no issue. You can place it. Okay, so like that, these are the floors, everything will be there. So this comes under other information for the keynote. But if you are going to take this cast place in concrete, it will be the fine information for the keynote. You just click it, this is the keynote number, and this is the description. You just click and go with OK. Now you can see the keynote has been came here. And now model. What model we have taken? This footing isolated model. So you have to write here isolated. First letter capital letter, remaining a small letter. Isolated footing. Yeah, isolated foundation. You have to write the model number, which model you have taken. Or else you can directly write rectangular footing also, no issue. Rectangular, square, this all comes under isolated footing only. Okay, and here the manufacturer means the contractor information you have to give here. Manufacturer means who is manufacturing, means nothing but who is constructing this footing. The company who is going to be constructed, who is going to be do this project. So that company name you have to write. If it is having some XYZ company, so you have to write XYZ private limited, this company is working this project. So like that you have to write the name like that. So private Ltd limited. Just example I just given, XYZ company is working this project. And here the type comment means this company is which type of company, it's a contractor or it's a consultant. You have to write the comments about that company. So some comment means some description you have to give. So right now XYZ is a private limited company, so I just making as a contractor. So you have to write contractor as in comment, or you can write some other consultant also. You can write as a subcontractor also, no issue. And here there is a URL. URL is nothing but it's a website. That company website you have to write. Okay, so right now this company XYZ, so xyz.com is the website of that company. So www.xyz.com. This is the web of the company. You have to write the full website of that company. And here the description about the company, how they are working, how the company is going to be working in a project, everything you can write it, some information on that company. Whatever the information, some 20 to 30 digit information you have to write it here. So something just I written here, you just go and work out for the same. Okay, here cost we don't give right now, because if you are giving 350 model, that time this footing, how much the cost is happening for constructing, that time you have to give the value of the amount here. So this one footing, F7 footing, if you are giving some value here, what will happen? Wherever the F7 footing you have placed in a model, everywhere this footing is going to be calculated, and it is going to be show you the total cost of for F7 footing, only F7 footing, whatever the sizes you have taken, the same size it will be having this much of cost. So if it is having F7 some 3 or 4 places you have placed, so everywhere it is going to be take the calculation part. And this all information is no need to put each and every footing, because if you are placing this F7, this all information, so wherever the F7 information is there, wherever you have placed the F7 model, everywhere this information is going to be passed, because these are type parameters. Once you give any one of the component, it will be reflect remaining all components wherever you have placed the model. Got it? So only one time. If the size is changing, your model is changing, if it is changing from F7 to F1, that time in F1 again you have to give this all information. So each and every component you have to give this information, even the cost also. So just example, for this footing construction, I just giving as a approximate some value. So you just think it as example, but when you are going to work for this project, so you have to estimate the exact material value, how much it is going to be made for the construction. So just I am giving some 3,000 rupees, so you have to go with the 3,000 right now. Just example, if you give 3,000, so that 3,000 is going to be calculated for all the footings in a project, and it is going to be happen here in this case. Okay, so just you have to give when you are working with 350, but we are not working with 350, then don't give the cost value, just leave it. If the client is asking 350, then you have to give the value here, how much the cost of that footing. Okay, this all information you have to fill in this way. Now you have to go with OK. So now you can see where all this information has been placed here. So you have to give this all information while working in LOD 300. So now how I given this information for the footing, same information again you have to give for the column also. You have to go edit tab, again you have to fill for the column also the same information. And here for the beam also you have to follow the same information. So beam, column, footing, these three components you have to fill this all information. As I had told you here in for footing, the same information you have to pass the all other components also. Clear? So this is the way when we are going to work for LOD 300, you have to work out for the same like